Hello, welcome to Tips on Teens. Thanks for joining us on your lunch break where I answer your parenting questions every Wednesday at noon. My name is Kent Toussaint. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist and licensed professional clinical counselor here at Teen Therapy Center in Woodland Hills. I also run a nonprofit organization in the same location called Child and Teen Counseling, which offers affordable, low-cost therapy to the community. And let's jump into today's question. We just found out that over the last few months, our son has charged over $700 on our credit card for his iPad games. We didn't catch it at first. I don't know what to do because we promised him that he can have as much video game time as he wants as long as he's getting A's, and he is. We need him to continue doing well so he can get into a good high school. If we take away his games, we are afraid that he will stop trying at school. What should we do? Great, layered, nuanced question, as they seem like they always are. There's no simple answer to any of these questions, which makes them really fun to talk about and probably very relevant to you, the listener and the watcher. So let's jump into, first and foremost, this parent wants their child to do well and get A's so he can get into a good high school. I hear this a lot. And it's a lot of pressure to put on a 13-year-old or 14-year-old or whatever middle school grade kid this age is, because it puts a lot of pressure because they're putting the pressure that 16, 17, 8-year-olds have in getting into college, and now that's being placed on a middle schooler, which sometimes can be overwhelming. So I think it's important to acknowledge that. Also, we have to acknowledge, are these his grades or are they your grades? Because if they are your grades, you put a tremendous amount of power in his hands that he is not emotionally ready to handle. Because if they're your grades, all he has to do is not do anything, and he has all the power, and you dance and get all crazy and get upset, and then he can kind of blackmail you. Because in this situation, if you say, well, you spent too much money on these video games, we're taking these away because you've proven that you can't be responsible, and you say, fine, I'm not going to do my homework anymore. And then you get scared and you panic and then you back off. So it's really important to understand whose grades are they. There are a lot of schools in this city. There are a lot of private schools. There are a lot of really good schools. I think if we put so much emphasis on what school he's going to go to, you're putting all the power and pressure on a 13-year-old that he may not be able to handle. Secondly, assuming he has not stolen the credit card from your wallet. Now, if he has done that and he's stealing your credit card bills and using that credit card number, that's a different situation. You're going to have to start locking stuff in a safe, and you probably need some family therapy because there's a big rift right now between him and you. But let's assume that's not the case. Let's assume he's playing on his iPad. There's a credit card attached to the iTunes account, and he's buying skins. And if you don't know what a skin is, it's an aesthetic part of the game. Doesn't really add much to the game, but it makes your character look really cool. He's probably buying them at $1, $2, $5 at a time, thinking it's no big deal, but it's added up to $700 over 3 months. So it does become a big deal. My hunch is he has no understanding of money and how to manage money and how money adds up. So that's something we need to address. So if you don't want to take the games away, okay, let's find a different way to do this. I would encourage you to find a way to make this, instead of a shame on you, you're bad. Okay, we're in this situation. How do we resolve this situation? How do we make this situation better? How do we use this as a teachable moment? How do we use this to teach financial responsibility? How do we use this as a way to teach giving back and what's the word I'm looking for? Charity. I mean, there's another word, altruism. There you go. So I would approach it in a couple different ways. Let's say he owes $700 to you, and he's not going to pay it all back in 1 week. But maybe you find a way for him to pay it back weekly, $10 at a time, $20 at a time. Maybe he's got to go collect cans and bottles and for recycling. Maybe he's got to help wash the car. Maybe he's got to do some extra chores around the house. Maybe he's got to go and help the neighbors with their trash cans and get paid $1 or $2 at a time. Make this possibly an entrepreneurial opportunity for him to start earning money. There's a lot of ways you can do that. Find ways to help him start making money and make it so it's reasonable. Maybe he has to bring in $10 a week. As long as he's bringing in $10 a week, he's got his games. So it's not overburdening. If you're just saying you got to pay him $50 a week, for a 13-year-old, a 12-year-old, 14-year-old, that's going to be hard for him to do. You can also point this direction of possibly, giving back. Instead of paying you back, maybe we use this $700 as a way to give back to the community. Maybe it's $700 of community service where he goes and donates time at the senior center, or maybe he volunteers at Operation Gratitude. There's a lot of ways he can give back, and maybe each time every hour he does is like $10 an hour. Whatever amount you think is appropriate, and as long as he's doing maybe 3 or 4 or 5 hours a week, maybe that's good enough. Maybe that's good enough for him to find a way to give back to the community and find ways to help others. And that's $700 worth of helping others, which adds up to a lot of helping, which may be a really important thing for him to learn as a middle schooler and to give back. You can also combine the two. You combine volunteer work and a way to make money, and maybe he earns it off faster, or just one week he does one week he does the other. So don't get too rigid, don't get too strict, but help encourage him to learn in a positive way how to give back and how to earn money. This could be the life lesson that helps him learn how to be an entrepreneur later on in life. 30 years from now, maybe he's a business owner, started his own company because of this situation, or maybe he became a philanthropist because of this situation. I know that's kind of a big thing to put on someone, but we never know. But the important thing is not to back away from this, and not to overburden him and shame him either. Let's turn this into a positive. So that's our question for the day. We love your questions. Keep them coming. If you'd like to ask your question, you can email us at tipsonteens@teentherapycenter.com, or you can direct message us right here on Facebook. We love to hear from you, and I'll see you next Wednesday at 12 o'clock. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.